time to light the light. It's time to get these. Oh, Matt.
Oh, hey, this is Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades, Gary. It's not the Muppet Show. Although it would be cool to have the Muppets on.
It would be awesome to have the Muppets on. I love the Muppets.
Yeah.
Although your presidential candidate does want to get rid of Big Bird, so I guess he wouldn't be joining us.
You gotta have
but
you gotta have something for Thanksgiving dinner.
yeah, he wouldn't fit in here anyway. He's too tall.
No.
But this is, of course, Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. I'm Matt Connerton. And, of course, the Honorable Gary S. Hopper, who has not only his hand grenade.
I got my tactical light too, which is
Yeah.
always good. Oh, look at that! That cotton trashes that thing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was wondering before the show why they call it a It's called it. This light is called the sniper.
Really? That's
So
ominous.
So I think you can. I think you can shoot with it.
You shine it on your target? Is that the idea?
I
You
got
can-
no clue. I think they just like using really awesome names so they can sell it for an extra $30.
You know what it is? Because these LED lights are so bright, you shine it in your target's eyes and blind them.
Right.
So then they can't get away while you're trying to shoot them.
Yeah, I do that with deer, but I don't tell anybody about
Right.
it.
We're both going to have the Secret Service
Yeah, exactly.
knocking on our doors now that we've had that conversation.
Yep, absolutely. So our guest tonight is Gail Berry, who's running for Senate. In which district? I've forgotten already.
It's District 18, which
Just-
is wards 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the town of Litchfield.
Cool. Now, it's really kind of cool. Oh, before we get started, Gail, a representative, I wanted to tell you, I don't know if a lot of people heard this, but I've got some top secret insight into something.
Well, you are a powerful and an important man.
Yes.
Are you
yes.
part of the Illuminati?
No.
Oh,
no,
well,
no.
you can't admit if you are anyway, right?
No,
So-
I can't. I'd have to kill you if I told you.
Right, better not to tell me. Okay.
But no, it's this is like top secret information I got today, and I'm going to share it with you. I'll probably get executed for it.
Uh-huh.
We found out today that
We have a very loud studio audience this
yes,
week.
they're a little bit they're ruckus.
They think they're on Oprah. They think they're all going to get a car. So they're all worked up and excited,
Yeah,
They don't know it's the wrong show.
Wrong show,
Yeah.
exactly. But no, anyway, I got this inside information today, and Gail, you probably haven't heard about this. World War II. Okay. It turns out that the bombing of Pearl Harbor wasn't planned. It was Admiral Yamamoto was out in the Pacific Ocean, and there was a video that came out by Charlie Chaplin that kind of insulted the Japanese, and it was spontaneous.
Oh,
Yes.
It was
wow.
a spontaneous attack. They just couldn't help themselves. There was just an overreaction. And the thing is if what was president? Who was president? World War II.
Oh,
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
yes.
If Roosevelt had just apologized to the Japanese for the Charlie Chaplin movie, I think we wouldn't have had to have World War
Who
II.
would have known that?
Huh?
Who would have known that?
This top secret information.
you can't tell us who would
I
have
can't
known
tell
it.
you that.
It'd
Yeah.
be interesting to find out.
It is. It's yeah. So basically, World War II was a direct result of a bad movie by video by Charlie Chaplin, and Yamamoto just happened to be in the Pacific
Yes.
and bombed the heck out of Pearl Harbor. Everything just started like that.
Yeah, that's how most wars start, really.
Yeah,
If
by
you think
about
accident.
it. Yeah,
by
yeah,
accident.
If you think
yeah.
about it.
Just little.
Gail, can you do me a favor and just pull your mic closer? Yeah, just right to the edge of the table. I just want to make sure everybody can hear you. Thank
Okay.
you.
So anyway, that's my top secret information.
All right,
my
that's not
insight,
top
you know.
secret now.
It isn't. I know. I'm probably going to get executed. I'll probably be a sniper.
Are you
across.
wearing your Kevlar?
I'm wearing. This is my Kevlar Republican T-shirt. Sweatshirt. So I'm good.
You might have to go to Washington and testify now.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
They'll probably ask me. Do they pay for that, or do I have to pay for that, or
Oh, you have to
hitchhike?
pay.
I'll have to hitchhike
That doesn't
down.
seem fair.
No.
No, we only pay for Obama's trips.
Oh, okay. So I got to go down to D.C. probably tomorrow. They'll probably call me up tonight. But anyway,
It took them a couple days to get to Ted Nugent when they questioned him, so it might be a couple days.
yeah. Ted's been had some troubles too, huh?
Yeah.
What the heck did he do? Do you hear? I don't know if you know about that, but Ted Nugent was up in Alaska. I think it was Alaska, right?
I don't know exactly where he was.
I don't.
It was on some kind of radio broadcast.
Well, no. No. This is something different.
Oh, well.
He was up in like Alaska, and I think he did something like tagged one of his like elk or something that he killed
Oh.
incorrectly, but it was correctly based on every other year that it had been up there, and his guide thought he had done it correctly. They found some obscure law to try to like nail him because he's a little bit on the excessive Republican side, or
I did hear something about
yeah,
that.
it's just
okay.
just
Yeah.
coming up with excuses to attack the guy.
How did that turn out? Do you know?
I
mean,
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ted hasn't called me in weeks, so
Oh, well, no.
you know.
Is he the one who told you about?
No, I can't
Oh,
tell you
right.
that.
I'm sorry. You can't tell us that. Never mind.
So anyway, back at the ranch. Now, so Gail, I did some research, and because I like to, kind of get an idea where my guests come from and stuff like that, and I found out that you really don't exist.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I did Google research, did some Google searching, and you don't exist. I don't know if your husband even knows that.
Is that a disqualifier for running for office?
I
if you're
would think
not?
if you can't be Googled,
Right.
do you
You
qualify?
must have Googled wrong then. Because I've been finding.
Did you miss Google?
I might have
had to.
misgoogled,
Oh.
but any.
Oh. Well,
No, I was curious. I know that you were a state rep for how many years have you been a state rep?
6 terms.
6 terms consecutively, or
No,
because it said on the state website it says former. So
no. I'm in the blue book.
right, I know that. I know you're a state rep now,
Yeah.
but as a state rep, it usually says incumbent or new, and yours says
Yes.
former. So you
Former.
missed the 08 to 10,
I've been in off and on since 85.
85. Wow.
So I've spanned quite a bit.
So you got a boatload of experience. So you
Yes.
were in there with SciTech and
No,
no,
no.
I thought she was.
I was in there but not when she was speaker.
Oh, okay. So anyway, you decided to run for Senate.
Mhm.
What's is it the money?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
It's not even $1 more.
I know, but but you do get a better parking space.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, in the winter, I
Oh,
mean, that
yeah,
must be
you
handy.
do.
Yeah.
Like if it's a cold,
I
snowy
think you
day.
get 2 places, don't you? You get outside and
I've
inside.
never been in the Senate. I don't know.
Oh, living kind of high on the hog, aren't you?
Yeah.
Two spots,
Yeah, well,
that's-
two,
yeah.
two spaces.
You're one of 24 instead
Right.
of one of 400.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So what motivated you to run?
I just figured I could do more in the Senate. It seemed like a good time.
Yeah, I was thinking of running for Senate because I could do more damage, but I don't think that's necessarily a good.
Right. That's
No,
not what they're
that's
looking
not.
for
No.
in the Senate is damage necessarily.
So what kind of things, when you say you feel like you could do more, what do you, is there specific issues that you want to pursue, or,
Oh, the health issues are one of the big ones,
okay.
because I've been Health and Human Services most of the time.
Yeah, you were on Health and Human Service Committee,
Mhm.
and you have a background in that also, or?
Yes, I'm an RN,
Okay,
retired.
that could come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My heart's been kind of,
Really?
yeah, it's not good,
Wow.
yeah.
You sure you have one?
Oh, yeah, that's right, I'm Republican. That's probably what the problem is.
That's right.
I
That's
don't
why you
have
missed
one.
out.
I
Oh.
keep looking for one, and it's not there.
It's not there.
Exactly. I didn't think
You
of that.
misplaced it when you ran.
Yeah, exactly. You have to check that at the door in the State House.
That's correct.
Exactly. But so you're an RN, so you have, what's your, not that it plays a huge part on the on the state level, but what's your opinion of all this, the Obamacare, and if,
I think it needs to be scrapped. We need to start over.
do you believe that this is, do you want to scrap it because the federal government doesn't know, doesn't know what they're doing on anything
They
else,
don't
so
know
why
what
would
to
they do this
It's
well?
more expensive. It isn't settling. You're still going to have the uninsured. It's just one big mess.
Yeah. Is it, do you think the state, it's something that, a purview of the states and not the federal government? Or do you just think that technically the way they've done it is just a bad idea?
Technically, the way they've done it is just a bad idea. I think each community in each state can figure out better how to take care of the health problems than the federal government. Not every state is the same.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, that there does need to be some sort of healthcare reform?
Oh, yes.
Because one of my
Does be.
one of my gripes, and when we had Ray White on, I think it was the first
Yeah,
time
yeah.
I said this is I've always felt that in the most innovative, most prosperous country on earth, we can figure out a way to make sure everyone has adequate health care. But it's always been my perception that while I don't agree with what liberals would like, because ultimately what liberals ideally in their perfect world would like is socialized medicine, and I don't like that idea. But I always feel like the only time Republicans say that they have any ideas about healthcare or want to address the issue at all, not in all cases, but generally at the national level, is when they're pushing back against what the Democrats are trying to do. And when the Democrats aren't trying to do something on healthcare like Obamacare, it seems like Republicans have nothing to say about it. At least that's my perception. So that's why I'm asking, do you think that there is an issue that needs to be solved, or would you have been fine with just not doing anything about
No,
for healthcare
something
reform?
has to be done. You're still gonna have the few people that don't bother getting a doctor, that don't bother doing anything, and then if they get any ache or anything, it's to the emergency room and tying up the progress and
Yeah.
not having the money, and it's just, it escalates itself.
How much of that is liability? In other words, if they go to emergency room and somebody's got an ache, and is it just the fundamental overhead that costs so much, or I know that like in Concord they have urgent care or something like that. It's a different building
do
across the
emergency too.
town where you go in if you've just got like an ache or pain, but it still looks like it's got tons of overhead.
Oh, it must, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you prevent those people from using an emergency room when they're they fell down and scraped their knee?
And it's their only option.
Well, the acute cares would take care of it if people would listen to it and just go there for those things.
Right.
It would help out a little bit. We just started in Manchester with the Elliott and the CMC, so it's just a building phase right now, so.
Yeah, I know CMC is really good. They're pretty small, and it's just going. I think I had to go in there when the regular doctor's off. I think my wife went in there. I think that was the one, and it was pretty good. It was pretty quick and pretty effective as opposed to going to the ER.
It would make things a lot easier. People could do a lot of shopping too, like they say, well, I've got to have my gallbladder out. I'm going to shop around and see how much different doctors charge, and that's where I'm going.
How do you motivate people to do that though? Because if they're not paying for it,
Well,
why would you shop around?
Well, it's hard to do though, isn't it? Because I remember that was the other thing Ray was
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
the first
yeah.
time he was here. There's no transparency in terms of
No, there
pricing
isn't.
in the healthcare system. So it's almost impossible to even do that. And you should be able to do that. I agree. Absolutely.
So do you think that's one of the regulations we could as legislators do is require more transparency as far
That's
as
it.
yeah.
And one of the big things we did too was the drug overdose rate is very high in New Hampshire. It's one of the highest. I think it is the highest in the state.
That hasn't happened to me in weeks.
Right.
Right,
Well, you learn from your mistakes, and
It outlast traffic deaths. There's more deaths through overdose than there is through traffic deaths in New Hampshire now.
really, that's interesting.
And we started the drug take-back program, which different police
Oh yeah,
towns,
yeah.
you can bring your drugs in and you put them in the DEA, and they're taken off the street, and kids aren't going into the medicine cabinets and finding them and
Okay.
going on through all that.
Interesting.
Is that actually having any effect so far?
This is having quite an effect.
It's going
The
down.
police are very happy with it, yes.
Huh, I didn't
Of
even
course
hear
they're
about
happy
this.
with it.
That's-
They're probably the ones
And-
ODing now.
And Manchester now is moving their police station. And so they have all this evidence that they have, the drugs and evidence. So now with the drug take-back program, they could get rid of all this before they move, and it's working out for them.
Okay, because yeah, they have to keep that stuff for a certain amount of time just for evidence purpose. They can't
Correct.
just dispose of evidence before a trial's all the way done
Right.
too. So they're kind of in a weird position. I
So
mean,
they're very happy they're getting rid of all that.
right. So that's one thing you can do. What now? Do you? do you know anything of, or anything that other states have done as far as urgent care that's a lot cheaper, like, I don't know, just a regular GP's, you know, in a office 24/7 somewhere where you just come in to get checked out and he ships you over to the emergency room if you really need it. Whereas, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you don't have, like, if you go to the urgent care here in Manchester or you go to Concord, there's just so much overhead they have, and I think it's fundamentally because if they don't have those services where they could take somebody who's feeling chest pains, comes in, I feel chest pains, if you don't have the facility or the capability of getting that under control quickly and getting them to the emergency room, they're gonna get sued.
Right, you notice most of your urgent cares here in town, if somebody goes in and it's chest pain, they usually call the ambulance and take them right to the Elliott or the CMC anyhow.
Yeah, they did that with my mom up in Concord because she was having some problems. It wasn't, it turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, with the liability, they don't wanna fool around.
Right. So can we do something about that liability? I know we passed, oh man, I think 207, 107, 307. It was one of those HB something.
Oh,
HB is House bill, I assume?
Yeah, how
Yes.
HB is, she's gonna be doing SBs from now on.
Oh, Senate bills, yes.
Senate bills.
Yes. Ooh.
He'll
You're
do
jealous,
it
aren't you?
No, he gets to question me when I go into the house,
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's right.
Oh.
so he likes that.
Yeah.
Unless she buys me coffee first.
Right, right.
I'll have
which-
to remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. You know, I'm
How many sugars?
Well, yeah, as long as we're talking about healthcare, how many sugars, Gary?
extra light, no sugar.
Good for you. Really?
Yeah, really.
Good.
I don't put sugar in coffee, except if it's iced coffee. For some reason,
Mm.
I can't drink iced coffee without sugar.
Iced coffee is nasty without sugar.
Oh, that's why.
That's probably the reason.
Been
Okay.
drinking the pumpkin lately?
Me? No, this is actually water. I just
Oh.
used the cup from earlier today.
Oh, I
Why
thought
does
you
the
got a
cup say
kickback
FU
for
on it?
Yeah, the cup says "FU." They do that to me all the time. I don't know why. And I'm nice to them too.
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
it or not. Maybe because of the Republican T-shirt. or
Maybe,
something.
maybe,
Oh.
maybe someone doesn't like your shirt. Yeah.
I get that all the time though.
Your elephant looks like he had too much sugar. His eyes are popping out.
Or too much something, huh?
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. My son did this.
Oh, that's good.
Now she's changing her tune now. isn't she?
Yeah, yeah. Now she
Always.
likes it. Yeah. Well, you got to question her. You know, now she's got
Yeah,
to buy you coffee. She's got to
gotta-
say she
yeah,
likes your
exact-
shirt.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna get worse too. Let me tell you. No, it was when I first ran for office. I was trying to get the kids involved, and my son, that would have been 2000, so he would have been 12 years old. And I decided to put pumpkins, right, elephants, on my campaign signs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so I says, I need you to draw me a picture of an elephant because he's a pretty good artist, and he drew a very detailed picture of an elephant. I says, no, dude, that's no good. It's got to be simple, so it's easy to reproduce on
Right.
in artwork or screen printing. And so he drew another one. It's still too complicated, and so. He's 12, so he's getting really mad now. He's getting
course.
he's getting
I would
angry.
too.
I says, no, it's got to be simple. And he drew this out of just anger.
Yeah, yeah,
That's perfect.
yeah.
He's still mad because it still shows up on my campaign signs, even 12 years later. It's pretty funny. It's the way I torture him every 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's actually kind of cool because I've had people comment that, you're in when they see my signs and Ware, I'm the only one they know what party I belong to when they're driving by.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that was my trying to get my son involved. That's where that came from. Then I had these T-shirts, party animal, because I thought that was cute. But,
Yeah.
But anyway, back to you. So healthcare, you want what are you going to push as far as specifics in healthcare to try to reform it?
Just trying to bring make it more efficient and bring the costs down, because they're way out of line, and do something with the malpractice insurance.
Right. Yeah, we did that, we did one of those in, early offer, I think we called it. I don't know if
Right.
you remember that. That went
Yes, I
through
remember that.
judiciary.
Yep.
I didn't particularly care for the way it was done, but, just not, I like the idea. I didn't like the way the penalties if somebody doesn't stay in the system once they agree to
Yeah, the
participate.
committee of conference kind of changed things.
A little bit, but not enough.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
still voted against it.
So what was it? Can you expand on that? Because it
No,
had to do with malpractice.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh,
So, no.
I like your shirt.
Oh, okay, and so, yeah, the bill fundamentally said that if somebody got hurt because of a doctor's screw-up, or maybe they think it was a doctor's screw-up, the insurance company would approach them, and the person would enter into this deal, and they would try to, take all the information, try to arrive if it was the doctor's fault and all this other stuff. And it would be a very expedited process. It would go really quickly. And they wouldn't get all the pain and suffering,
Yeah.
which gets to be ridiculous. You know what I mean? They would take care of the medical bills and all this other stuff, and get, if depending on the injury, they would get so much for the injury and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't like the offer, if they thought they were being hosed, they can get out.
Right.
So that part I liked.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
to make it, get it done, get it out of the way. There's a few huge problems with the way it was written, though, and I don't know what we ended up with, but if I recall correctly, if somebody decided to bail out, then the threshold of what they had to prove went up. In other
Okay.
words, before, you would have a I forget what the burden of proof is. You would have a certain threshold that you would have to prove in court. If you enter into the early offer program and then say, no, I don't think so, that proof goes up. So the probability of you getting a settlement from the insurance company just went down.
Right.
So it's a win-win for the insurance company, because they theoretically can just lowball you and
Oh,
push
right.
you out of the system.
Right. Right.
And that was one of these lawyers up there. I love him. Lobbyist. He goes, I'm not real politically correct, and so there was one of the lawyers that was in favor. I think he got like $100,000 to lobby for this bill, and he's up there saying, well, because I had talked to one of the other lobbyists, and I explained that I was not in favor of this because of the penalty for bailing out, and all the insurance company has to do is lowball it, and that person's stuck because there's no way out now. And so the lawyer gets up, and he works with that woman, so he knew what I had said. So he starts out with his speech and explains that, I just want to make things clear, there's no lowball offers in this bill. You can't lowball somebody. Then 2-3 minutes later, he's saying, in the event that there's a lowball, this is the process you go through.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there going, you got to be kidding, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then somebody else asked him questions about the ethics that the lawyers would have to deal with, because a lot of this stuff is in the being dealt with just by lawyers.
When do lawyers deal with ethics?
And well, that's what he said. He
I'm
said, well,
confused.
He said after the question came to him, he says, well, the lawyers have an ethical guideline they have to go by. So when I get a chance to ask a question, I said, I found your testimony very interesting. I don't think I've heard lawyer and ethics in the same sentence before. I was on the Judiciary Committee, which is all lawyers.
Right.
so
Right.
I didn't win any friends that
No,
day.
no.
But I got a good laugh out of it, so
Yeah.
it was absolutely
So it
worth
was
it.
worth
It was
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
I aggravated Representative Gaida and all.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it was great. But yeah, I think reforming the legal system so lawyers aren't cleaning the clocks of people and things like that is a really good way to go. But I thoroughly agree with you that medical insurance, if there are reforms, it should be done almost exclusively on a state level, not on a federal level. Federal government just sucks pond water when it comes to this stuff. But We got more guests. We can just
Wow.
keep getting more and more guests.
Well, we have an enormous studio audience here,
Yes, exactly.
but they're not getting a car.
Do we charge admission?
No, oh, we should.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Yes, yes.
But so anyway, healthcare is an issue. What you've been on? Have you been on Health and Human Service committees ever since you were in the legislature, or?
I was on Judiciary and Family Law for one term, and I was on Children and Youth for one term.
How'd you like judiciary? Is that like
I liked it,
you did?
yeah.
It can get pretty boring.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, yeah,
The terms they throw around and all.
yeah. It is. It is hard. It's
And
hard to
The
determine.
lawyers take it so seriously,
Oh, wicked. They don't. Yeah.
you know, they don't light up at all.
No. They're not a funny group.
Really?
No.
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 Yeah, I have fun up there. I think our chairman is Bob Rowe, and he's
Oh, Bob's a nice fellow.
a nice
Yeah,
fella,
he is.
but he doesn't approve of me that much.
Really?
No, he likes things done.
Exactly. Yeah, a certain way.
I was gonna say I don't recognize that name as that having been someone we've had on the show.
No,
so
I don't think.
no.
Yeah,
No. No. But okay. So you're on judiciary. You have experience on judiciary. What other issues do you want to tackle as a senator?
Oh, anything that comes up.
Like
Like, I was in business and,
what kind of business? Funny business or?
no, we had a auto repair facility.
Oh, you
We had a
did?
self-service auto repair facility before its time. And, we had a software fulfillment company.
Or what?
We produced software for
Okay.
for a company.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auto repair where you do it yourself. So that was back when you could actually change the spark plug without having to remove the
That's
engine
right,
to do
and
so.
we made more money on somebody trying to fix their car and getting discombobulated with it and having the
Oh, really?
mechanic come and fix it.
Yeah. So that's actually a pretty cool thing, because that's one
Yeah.
reason I don't change my own oil, is because I live I got a dirt driveway,
Mm.
and my Toyota, you have to remove this huge plate underneath the engine, and I can't see too good, so just lining up the holes to put that plate back is a pain in the butt. If I actually had a lift where I could actually do all that,
Right.
it would take me 20 minutes to change
We
my
would
own
rent
oil,
the
as
equipment and
opposed to
the
like,
expertise.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
How long was that?
We had that about 5 years, I think. And then the liability insurance kept going up and up.
Yeah. That's amazing that liability insurance can totally
Oh, yeah,
nail anybody, knock anybody out of business.
that's it.
It's the idea that people don't have to be responsible for themselves is pretty ridiculous.
Right.
You know, like it's somebody in an auto repair thing, somebody cuts their hand. You know, so what? You just, it shouldn't. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be
Stop
that.
the bleeding.
Yeah, stop the bleeding. Go get stitched up and come back and finish
Yeah.
fixing your car,
Yeah.
car, you sissy. But yeah, it is amazing that the liability does so much harm to business. I mean, certain liability, yes. You know, if you're doing something like making your employees breathe asbestos, you are liable.
Right.
Was
know
that
what I mean?
is that wrong?
No,
Oh.
no, I'm a Republican. Of course, it's right.
Oh, okay.
Should get extra.
You have to
Ooh.
put a sign up to let them know.
Yeah,
That's
it.
what they do.
Oh, right. Yeah, but they should be fine with it, right? I mean, it's just
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Air is
exactly.
polluted anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I worked at some places years ago like that. You know, if you don't like it, there's a door. You know? A lot of love.
The
a lot
sooner
of
the
love.
better.
Yeah, the sooner the better. And so you did that, and you did the software thing, and you were a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And how, did you have
Raised
children?
3 children.
3?
One's a lawyer. One's
That must
retired
be
Air
really.
Force.
That must be very disappointing to you.
No, she's very good.
Oh, she's one of the.
She's one of the good ones.
10%.
And one works at the VA and the and computers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, information systems.
Over on the other side of town.
Right. In a New Bedford, Mass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How old are they?
Then I'm saying how old I am.
Oh, yeah, no. I
really.
assumed
The
you had
oldest
them when
is
you were 10.
52 and the youngest is 48.
Oh, okay. That's a good spread.
And I have a granddaughter and a grandson.
You do? I get 5.
Oh, boy.
We had the 1-year-old's birthday Monday.
Oh,
It's on
boy.
Facebook. I got all the pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then his 7-year-old, his birthday was close enough, so we had both parties at the same time. It's wicked cool. Kids,
Save
little
on
kids are
one,
wicked
huh?
cool, huh?
Save, it's cheaper than 2.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the 1-year-old doesn't care anyway. You just give her a bow or something.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? She'll play with that for an hour or so.
Well, I'm the odd one out here. I don't reproduce.
That's your problem.
Yeah,
Nah, I like it that way.
we have to talk. Yeah.
Families are expensive.
Wicked expensive.
Oh,
Oh,
Wicked
yes.
expensive.
I don't have the money.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've worked on since I've been up there. When I was first elected in 2000, is trying to strengthen families. It's amazing. I don't know if you saw it in the Health and Human Services Committee. You might have seen some of it in Judiciary Committee. Is how much money the state expends just trying to take care of people who are breaking up and divorcing and the
Right.
consequences to the children and it's just amazing.
It's far-reaching.
It's wicked far-reaching. The amount of money that I think the Concord Monitor did a weird. Did you do the Concord Monitor survey? I just
No,
got.
I don't think I did.
You know? Okay. Well, I just did mine the other day, and I think we got it like last week or something. What did I have question? Lost my train of thought. That's okay. I never had one really. Anyway, but
Derailed.
totally derailed.
It's the rain.
But they had some weird questions. They had a question like, do you support the what's the special committee we had this year who have never had before, the committee
Regress and
a redress and
grievances, yeah.
grievances, which I thought was an odd question.
Yeah, it was.
It's really weird because it's the redress of committees. We remember we had Paul Ingerton.
Yeah, we had a couple people on discussing that, right?
Yeah, we had a couple people.
Yeah.
It's a really
They go
cool.
into years and years ago.
Huh?
They dig into years and years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the first year we've actually had that committee.
Right.
We tried to have it last term under the Democrats, but they weren't too cool about
No,
it.
they didn't want to play.
So we had to meet like across the street, and we started getting things done. And this year I think the redress committee's actually solved some pretty cool problems for people. That, because you're under the Constitution, you're supposed to have the ability to, the right to redress of grievances. That's part of the Constitution. And this was a committee set up just so people could appeal to the state when to the legislature when their town or whatever had problems. But we've had it's been pretty cool, but that's what I'm afraid of is whoever takes over next is going to get rid of that. But so anyway, so you want to do something about healthcare. What other issues are your pet peeves or?
No, just continuing what we've been doing in the House and keeping the taxes down and the fees down that were put in.
Yeah.
Keeping a little
How do you?
efficiency there.
Huh?
Getting a little efficiency
That'd be good.
going, yeah.
Now, how do you stand on the Second Amendment? What's your position on the Second Amendment?
I'm for the gun rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think everybody should the state should buy us guns?
No, we should buy our own,
Oh.
That's
yeah.
That's what I thought would be really cool is if we had a Republican get up, because they had that Democrat going saying, I'm voting for Obama because he's going to buy me a cell phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
voted
the
for
only-
Obama. He didn't buy me a cell phone.
You know,
You
the
didn't
inner
get in the right
sanctum.
line.
This was a free upgrade, but.
But yeah, no.
Oh.
So I think Romney should come out with an ad and say, you vote for me, I'll give you a new 9mm. Because if you have a 9mm, you can get as many cell phones as you want.
That's true.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my thing is, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, give him a gun, he can get as many fish as he wants.
That's true. That's true. You,
You
can
know?
take the gun and
And
you
not
just
even have
shoot
to
the
fish.
fish. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Can you get fish at, like, if you rob a convenience store, do they have fish there you can take?
Well, they probably have the frozen food section.
Right.
Yeah.
you
No, but
know,
I mean, if you want to just, knock over a 7-Eleven or
Gordon's
something.
and take their Gortons of Gloucester fish.
Oh, the Gortons fishermen, yes.
Okay, so, yeah, it gets pretty bad here. Matt's a bad influence on me.
I am. I'm the little devil on your shoulder.
I know. I'm actually pretty mild-mannered kind of guy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just,
You'd never make any trouble.
I wouldn't.
No,
I'm not that kind of person.
no.
So,
Just a judiciary.
or on the house floor. I actually didn't get up that many times
No,
this
you
year.
didn't.
No.
No.
I was
Very
actually a good
quiet
boy.
this
I was a
time,
good
yes.
boy. With the exception of the Quaker parrot thing. The
Yes,
paratroopers.
yes, I remember the Quaker parrots.
That was another ridiculous bill that got
Oh, yes.
went through this year. I was like shaking my head. I couldn't believe we were even dealing with that. But so what's your how does your race look? How are you doing as far as your race going? I know you've got the Democrat, and I forgot the name of the Democrat, and you have an independent. What's all that about?
Donna Susie and Arthur Beaudry. They're both school board members, and one only has to ask, are our schools any better, and what would they do to the Senate?
Right, right.
Because schools in Manchester aren't all that well.
No, they're suffering.
So is Donna Susie the Democrat? And 'cause I've
Arthur
heard.
Beaudry
heard-
was a Democrat, now he's an independent.
Okay,
Why? Do you know why?
that helps you, right? That splits
Somewhat, you
that
would
splits
hope
the
so, yes.
Democrat vote. Yeah.
You would hope so.
Does he have a good following? Is he going to drain enough votes? Because
Yeah,
you're
he's,
running mostly in Manchester, which is typically
Right.
Democrat.
And they're both union people. He's a retired lieutenant in the fire department.
Okay. And what is her background?
She was a state rep, she's a school board member, she was
Donna.
the legal advisor at in the Senate for $100,000 a year.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So maybe.
And so she works for the Democratic Party.
Oh, okay. Does she have to give that up to be a senator?
Yeah, well, she already had, but, I don't know
Okay.
if she has to give up the Democratic Party or not.
Not the party.
She
She can
would.
be a member of the party, but I don't know if she can be because then you're.
No, I don't think so. I don't know after what we went through last year. I don't know.
Okay. So you're running against those two. They're
Correct.
both union members. They're both basically. They're fundamentally. You're running against two Democrats. Now, why did the independent decide to do that if there was already a?
He doesn't get along with Donna Susie. Neither one of them get along with each other, so they have their own ways of doing things. And
So they didn't fight. Why didn't they fight it out in the primary though?
I don't know. They decided to do it this way, I guess.
Huh. So she signed up for the seat, and then he just said, "The heck with it. I'm going independent."
Yeah, he went and got the petitions and went in as
You
an
need a lot.
independent.
I don't know how many signatures you need for Senate, but it's got to be quite a few.
Yeah, there was quite a few. He got them.
Wow. So that's actually good. That's really good for you. That puts you in
Yeah.
a pretty good standing. Now, is this your first run for Senate?
No, it's my second. I tried once before when John King was senator,
Okay.
the police chief's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not necessary. Yeah, that's kind of that's a tough one there.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
So so your odds are pretty good now. You getting around to the different meetings and all that other garbage you have
Oh,
to do.
yes. It shows like this.
Yeah, shows like
Kissing babies.
shows like this.
Yeah.
What does she mean by that?
I
Just
don't
a show
know.
like this.
Do you mean like you have to endure the endurance thing, like you're enduring a show like this?
No, enjoying it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there's a thin line between enjoy
Yes.
and endure. You know.
Endure, yeah.
The-
Yeah, it's like being married.
well, I've never been married, so I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have to take my word for it.
Yeah. Gladly, I'll take your word for it. I'm sure it's great. I know lots of happy married people.
Really?
No.
No. Oh, geez. So you're good on the Second Amendment. What other issues do they typically ask you about? I mean, what are the other issues that are important to you?
Just everyday life. Things that affect us every day. People going into our pockets all the time and telling us how to live and
Yeah.
all that jazz.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, that is. It seems to be. You were there. You were there last term.
Yeah.
We were there last term. When the Democrats, it's like every pick a
No,
week.
I didn't have that pleasure of being in when the
Pleasure?
Democrats were in charge. I missed that.
It was brutal. I don't understand, we've got an election coming up, and I don't think people quite understand how bad it was 2 years ago.
I
They're-
saw
they're-
the
they're-
papers and the fees going up and the registration fees and
It was
the
just
whole mess.
constant. It was
Yeah,
like
what
every
if-
week, there would be like
Yeah,
2 or
something
3
else.
more fees or more taxes. I remember there was a state rep from Hillsborough, and he wanted to tax, like, most industry has 55-gallon drums
Mhm.
of oil, whether it's cutting oil or whatever it is.
Oh, I remember you talking about this. Yeah.
And he wanted to add this tax for every 50 gallons of any kind of chemical. I forget what kind of tax it was or fee it was. And he's representing Hillsborough. The biggest employer in Hillsborough, best of my knowledge, is the Sylvania.
Right.
And so I got up on the House floor and he's well-meaning. It's like a lot of us go up there and we have this like hatred. Some people have hatred towards the Democrats. I really don't. I think their intentions are good and honorable. I just think they're very short-sighted, and I disagree with them. But anyway, so he gets up and he's talking about his new fee and all this other stuff, so they could buy some new hazmat stuff. And I said, well, you have Sylvania in town. Do you have any concept of how many drums of oil or and how much it's going to affect them? Or are you going to lose employees at Sylvania? He said, no, I don't have any idea. It's like,
Ignorance is
Oh,
bliss.
jeez.
it's
The
like,
people that are gonna vote for it.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good politician.
no,
clearly.
but he meant well. It's obvious that he meant well, and I think it passed the House.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it went through into law or not, because it was, once a bill's out of the House, there's too much else to worry about, but
What happened to him? Is he still around?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, we had the Republican sweep in 2000.
Yeah.
2010, and that's what I'm getting at is I don't think people, I hope people remember how profound it was in the years before that. It was constant. The Democrats spending over from 2006 to 2010, if I got my numbers right, went up 25%.
That's correct.
And then the wave of Republicans came in, it went down 12%, which isn't the full 25, but considering we didn't get the $900 million from Obamacare, the stimulus package like the Democrats had, the fact that we balanced the budget was just as amazing.
And Hassan said she left a surplus. Where it is, I'd like to know. We wouldn't have to worry.
She did not, because
I know she didn't.
they were still attacking the doctors up north had created this fund where all the doctors had pooled all their money for liability insurance.
Yeah.
And they had been doing that, I think, since the mid-90s, so that doctors could afford to practice in some of the smaller towns up north. And so they had this pool of money, and the Democrats went after that.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Anything
court
they could
struck it
take.
down, I believe, but it was like, are you kidding? That wasn't state money. But the Democrats thought they'd go after that too, and they had to borrow money to balance the budget too. So she's full of baloney.
Oh, yeah. And she gets up there with a straight face and says it.
Yeah, that's amazing that people,
She balanced the budget. Yeah.
well, they did balance the budget, but they had to borrow money to do it.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on,
Which way
you say
look at it.
potatoes and I say potato kind of thing.
Right. Right.
So besides the economy, gun rights you're good on. What other issues? Property rights. How do you stand on the property rights and all that stuff?
Oh, I'm for the property rights and some of this eminent domain they want to pull for Northern Pass and all that. I don't see it at all.
Yeah. Now, what if that was? Because I'm kind of confused about that. I understand that. Eminent domain is typically used for infrastructure. It shouldn't be
Right.
used like they tried to do in Connecticut, which was
Right.
to,
For commercial
for
reasons.
commercial reasons, so
Yeah.
that the people at Pfizer could build their own homes and, you know, nice tennis courts and all that cute stuff. But it is intended for infrastructure. So if Northern Pass were something that actually would dramatically reduce the overall price of electricity in New Hampshire, would you still be so adamantly against it?
I'd lean more towards it if it was gonna help New Hampshire, but so far it isn't.
Oh, no, it wouldn't help us at all.
And if they were able to bury most of the lines, it would be even better.
Right, right. Yeah, I guess, I forget what it cost for burying, but it was huge.
No, really.
Because we went up there last, I'm losing track of my years. The year before that. Not the beginning of this, was it the beginning of this year or the year before? It would have been the year before, it would have been early, not this, early last year. We went up to talk to the people at Hydro-Quebec. And that was pretty funny. That guy, the speaker was saying, well, he's got like his $2,000 suit. I didn't know. I don't know enough about suits to know it's a $2,000 suit. He seemed like he's dressed pretty well to me, but that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And so they were going to run DC current instead of AC or vice versa. I forget which. So I asked him, what do you gain from that? You know, how much electricity do you save by running it that way as opposed to the other way, which would mean you could actually tap into it as it's on its way down. And he says, "Oh, I don't know. I'm the money guy." I says, "Okay. How much money do you save?" "Oh, I don't know." So he's got like all this wicked nice suit and no answers.
He's
It's
just
pretty-
there to show off his suit.
Apparently. He's a salesman. They don't have to know anything.
That's right. That's right.
But that was pretty interesting. You know what? The other interesting thing he said was and I had thought of this many years ago. Remember the big thing I think it was in the 80s, where people believed that they were contracting cancer because they lived near from the magnetic field around
Right.
or electric field around a power line, and I had thought of that in the 80s, but I don't know anybody, so it didn't matter how much what I thought about. So I asked him directly, because I had the opportunity. I said, so we had this big scare about cancer and electric lines. I said, it's always been my presumption, although I don't think anybody ever said it, that it was more likely the defoliants used to control the undergrowth around power lines that was causing cancer, not the electrical current itself. And I says, what are you gonna do about that, or has there been any research done about that? And he said something very interesting. He said that in Canada, they're not allowed to use defoliants. They can't control the undergrowth with defoliants. It has to be mechanically done. And I thought that was pretty interesting. That's very telling. That means there is an issue,
Right.
but nobody's saying anything because they probably liability again. But
Yeah.
so somebody knows something about it. I thought that was actually pretty interesting.
It is.
Plus, they gave us like free drinks or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you fill out a report?
No. Oh no, I did have to fill out a report. Actually, I did it wicked late because we had for some reason, it was sketchy whether or not we had to fill out a report or not.
Yeah.
Because I forget why, and I just didn't care enough. And I know that I wasn't
Maybe
worried.
it was less than $25.
Well, the whole thing was a lot more than 20. They paid for hotels. They paid for the bus ride from hell to get there. No, it was really bad because it was early in the winter. It was snowy.
Yeah.
We went all the way up to Berlin, okay, in this bus, and I think it had bald tires when we left. You got to picture this, right? This is so funny. I felt bad for the Canadian consulate because they must have just been almost so embarrassed. But the bus is trying to go up near Pittsburgh, trying to get up and over these hills,
Right.
and it's snowing. It's a pretty bad storm, and he couldn't make it up the hills. He's got all these legislators standing up, and going to the back of the bus to put as much weight over the back of the bus
Wow.
as they can. He's still burning rubber on one side, so there's smoke coming in.
That's scary.
And we're near these like cliffs.
Oh, wow. Really?
We almost had like international incident.
Wow.
We almost had an excuse to take over Canada.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
national news.
Yeah.
I think so. You know, Canadians kill, House of Representatives leaders, and
Oh, yes.
yeah, it would have been awesome. It would have been. I finally would have made the front page.
And I think we can take Canada.
I think so.
We can take them.
You guys
we can take them, eh?
Eh?
See, we're already assimilated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But do we want to take over? Because that's the French side. I don't know.
They have cool stuff there, right?
Like what?
I don't know. Montreal's kind of nice.
Montreal?
The whole underground thing. Yeah. We'll take that.
Yeah, I guess we could flood it or fill it with sand or something.
Yeah, well, we'll be able to do whatever we want with it.
Yeah, once we own it. we
Yes.
just take it.
Yes,
Good
exactly.
idea.
I'm excited.
Maybe we can work on that this weekend.
Taking over Canada?
Yeah, we could just do it on our own. We don't need the government approval.
No, no.
I mean, there's no law. There's no law that you know of in the United States that you can't conspire to take over Canada. There's a law that says you can't conspire to take over the United
That's
States.
correct.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
What's that expression? Fortune favors the bold?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
thought that was bald, but really bold?
Bold, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was always kind of concerned because I'm not quite there yet. So
Right,
I thought
right.
maybe someday.
No.
But anyways,
Well, I've worked bipartisan too. I was president of the Owls.
oh, okay. Oh, this is too funny. Okay, the Owls every couple times a year, the Owls, which is the
Order of Women Legislators.
Order of Women Legislators, get up and they have an announcement. And as soon as they say the Owls, everybody goes.
Really?
But I used to make good on it. You couldn't do that unless you were a member.
Ah, there you
I
go.
used to go collect the fee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what did you do with them again? I'm sorry,
I was the president.
president of
New
that.
Hampshire, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm the New Hampshire co-director of Women in Government.
Okay.
And I was chairman of the Hillsborough delegation,
Yep.
the
Yep.
one that subpoenaed you to appear one time for the budget.
Subpoenaed who? Oh, us,
the
everybody.
delegate, yeah,
They told us
because
we
we
had
couldn't
to
get a
go.
quorum. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you specifically were
I
subpoenaed
know.
for
I
something.
thought she was attacking me right
I know.
there.
Yeah, I didn't know what was
It
going
was
on.
good she waited to the end of the show to
Yes.
do it.
One
Yes.
legislative husband thought he was being served divorce papers that day.
Pretty
Really?
excited, huh? I saw her at the NRA dinner a couple of weeks ago. This is so great. I don't know if it was a T-shirt or a plaque, but it said, "My biggest fear in life is that when I die, my wife will sell my guns for as much as I told her they cost."
That's pretty good.
That would be a good one.
Yeah. But so anyway, so were you president of the Owls, and is there anything else you wanna?
I was first vice of the New Hampshire Republican Women
Okay.
and president of the Manchester Republican Women and vice chair of the Manchester Republican Party.
Okay. So you've been causing trouble for a long
Oh,
time.
yes. Yes, I enjoy that. Yes, very much so.
Now, it says on the state web? It says J. Gale Berry.
Right.
What's the J for?
Janet.
Janet. So why do you go by Gale? You
Because
just like
my
it?
mother's name was Janet also, and my last name was Smith. And then
Okay.
I'm Janet Smith, there's lots of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
Gale
I
kind of
put
made it
Gale.
easier.
Gail
Okay.
is right.
Because I was thinking that because I saw that I figured J had to be a name, so I was thinking because my name's Gary Schonhopper.
Yeah.
I could go G. Sean.
You could.
And
Yes, you
then I
could.
would be like a rapper.
Yeah, I was gonna say you sound like a
Yes.
rapper. Yo,
Right?
I'm G.
Yeah.
Sean.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
And they'd call you up to the DS and you'd have to,
Well, if you stop subpoenaing me all the time, I'd have more time to do that.
Yeah, but that builds cred. If you're getting subpoenaed, that builds your street cred as a rapper.
I need street
Oh,
cred
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
That's what's
And if
up.
they couldn't pronounce your middle name,
Right. Well, that says like 4 minutes. That says 2 minutes. I guess we're done.
Yeah, that means we're done.
Hey, Gail, thank you very much. Good luck in your Senate race.
Thank you, Gail.
thanks.
And remember, it's extra light, no sugar. Hey,
There you
Matt, have fun next week.
Thank you, thank you. Who's is it John still coming on with you? John Burt? Is he
Is that what I said?
co-hosting with you?
Did I ask him?
Oh, that
I think you did ask him. You might want to remind him.
I'll remind him.
Okay, bye everybody.
You know what the